Would working as a conciliator slash mediator for ACAS over 5 years on employment law matters and tribunal cases count as QWE? Good question. Going back to the definition, the provision of legal services, then some of these may or may not come under that or meet that definition. I am actually a qualified and accredited commercial and civil mediator. So I know that mediation is not, quite specifically by definition, not the provision of legal services, because the mediator is there to facilitate the parties reaching an agreement, not to give legal advice or provide legal services. So a mediator, no. Conciliator depends on the definition of that. I'm not quite sure. Tribunal cases, we're now getting into an area where potentially it could, but it does depend upon the particular circumstances. I had someone from Pakistan quite some while ago who said, "Oh, I work in a court. I worked in a court for 5 years." And I thought, this is possible. This is potential. But what he did was he gathered together the papers to present to the judge. So he was clerk in the court, compiling administratively the papers that had been submitted to give to the judge. That's not the provision of legal services. Okay. So if, however, you were a clerk to the justices advising them, which is like in a magistrate's court in England, where your role is to advise the magistrate of the law, then I think you are providing legal services to the Crown, the representative of the Crown, and you're interpreting the law and advising on that, then I think it's much more possible. I'm not an employment lawyer, so I don't know the particular circumstances in an employment tribunal. ACAS, of course, is there to try and get people to agree. I don't know. So this is, again, a situation where we would need to have a one-to-one to really dig into the circumstances. But I hope that you've seen the process that I go through in trying to work out whether it is the provision of legal services, because I've got to exercise my judgment honestly and with integrity as someone regulated by the SRA, because I've got to justify myself to the SRA.